Howdy, folks. I'm Jeremy.
I'm TJ.
And we're here with the Archeryshack Shop Talk Podcast. This is number 94. Thanks for joining us. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. Let YouTube know you enjoy our content so it'll promote it to other people. And if you need a set of bowstrings, check out archeryshackstrings.com. Use the code YouTube15 for 15% off. And we would greatly appreciate it. We had some questions come in. I'm going to go ahead and go through those, and then we'll chat. We're back in our normal format here, so it feels
Kind
different.
of weird.
Yeah, it feels kind of weird. I'm going to move this over. Okay. So we're back to our normal deal here. Bill asked, give me a recommendation on a good stabilizer for a Matthews V3 27. It is my hunting rig. I wouldn't go with nothing if it was me. Terribly big, you know what I mean?
I would say stay 10 and under, but 6 to 10 inch range. That there's so many stabilizers out there, and that's really a personal preference kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get into some of the Trophy Ridge Hitmans that you can change the little color band on them to kind of match your bow. I'm running some, I'm just running some basic Light Hawk bars that were Bernie's leftovers, I guess, from when Conquest bought him out.
Yeah.
Conquest bars are good.
Conquest is probably my current favorite, I think. But really, I mean, it boils down to about everybody's just got some kind of carbon rod with some sort of rubber in it that's almost the same.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more a preference of what look you like.
Yeah. I mean, you've got Dead Center, Bowfinger,
Yeah.
Atomic Rods, Wicked Stick.
Bee Stinger.
Yeah.
Freaking, there's a million of them.
Yeah.
Now. I would either go with a little short one, a little 4-incher, or if I wanted to run a sidebar, I might would put an 8 or maybe a 10 out front with about a 6 or 8 on the side. But with it being such a little bow,
You don't need much.
yeah.
I'd probably stay 6-inch size, but now as far as the actual brand,
Yeah.
there's so many good manufacturers out there. You just, like Jeremy said, find the one that you like the look of and roll with it.
Harold wants to know a recommendation on a good budget crossbow. There's a couple, I'd just say look at some of the Bear stuff, some of the PSE stuff. I've seen the Chinese ones on Amazon. Hadn't really had a chance to mess with them, so I can't comment. Maybe that's something we ought to play with and do a review on. But
Centerpoint has a bunch of good ones out there.
Probably the number one in the past 3 years has been the Sniper 370 from Centerpoint. And they've called it a few different things. The Sniper 370, the 370 Elite, the whatever.
The Specialist XL 370.
But it's pretty much the same base crossbow. But they sell for a good, cheap price.
I know they got one out, the Patriot 415. I'm seeing us building a lot of strings for that one.
Yep.
So.
And then, we got some Bear ones here for around $400, and they got one even cheaper. We just hadn't got any in yet. So any of those, I don't really know of any to tell you to stay away from. They're in the past I've had a few brands I might would have said to run from, but they're all kind of even at this point.
Yeah.
As far as say a $300 crossbow.
I mean, there's always the tried and true Barnett, but
yeah.
And we get this in the shop all the time. And if you've got any kind of warranty issue with a Barnett, you have to send it back to Barnett because Barnett will make us pay for the parts. And then we in turn have to charge you for the parts. But if you send it straight back to Barnett,
they'll fix it.
They'll fix it for free.
It's weird, which we're not a direct Barnett dealer anyway. But used to, we could call Barnett and say, hey, we got a whatever in, and this is broke. They'd send us a part. Really, they might charge shipping, but no questions. But we had 2 instances where we called and they were like, well, it's going to be we need limbs for a whatever. Well, it's going to be $110. So then, the customer ends up having to pay $110 plus for us to install them. But then they told the customer send it straight back to them, and they won't charge anything. So we just kind of been telling people, just call them, deal with them.
Yeah.
And you might have some shipping in it, but that'll be it.
Yeah.
And it kind of screws the dealer, but like I say, we're not a Barnett dealer anyway, and I really don't have any intentions on being one, so
No.
I'll let her eat. Can I mount a laser on my bow to use as a sight, Jerry?
Yeah.
They used to make several options to do that. Now I don't know of but really one, and I don't remember who makes it, but it's really, I think, made for bow fishing, but the one you put on the stabilizer.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking about.
But used to, they made one that would mount up under your sight,
Yeah.
and it was a set yardage, like 20, 25. You know, you had to sight it in just 1 yardage. And then back in the late 90s, they had one that would actually, it was kind of like a movable sight. You could set it on whatever, 20, 30, 40. But it had this weird twang to it. I've got one laying in the junk box back here somewhere. Something I hadn't looked into in a while, but I know they do make them. I know I seen one on Amazon a couple years ago that you could mount like on a rail. So I can't remember again, but somebody makes the rail you can put behind the stabilizer. Randy had one on his boat earlier.
Yeah.
You could put a flashlight or a laser or whatever, but as far as one to recommend, I don't know. I hadn't fooled with them in so long. It was big, like early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
We sold a lot, but I hadn't fooled with them in at least 10, 15 years. So
I just remember them things being aggravating to set.
the problem was, and they're probably got to be about the same way, but you had a top and side screw, and ultimately you're going to have to hold that thing at full draw on the target while your buddy starts twisting on screws trying to get that laser aiming at the dot you aiming at.
Yeah.
And so we'd put it in the hooter shooter, aiming at the target, and then that was the easiest way. But I guess the last one I sold was to a veterinarian buddy of mine, and that's what I was like, just pull it back and aim and hold it as long as you can. I'm going to have to start, and it had a top and side screw, and I was moving. It took a couple times to get it right. But anyway, if anybody out there knows of a good laser sight, put it in the old comments.
Yep.
What is our opinion on Gearhead bows, Tom?
They're a decent bow. I mean, we Jacky that helps us, he bought one. He bought, what was it, the B34?
Yeah, and then the next year we shot them, and there was a good bit more
vibration,
noticeable vibration. Yeah. And we didn't have an ATA this year to mess with them. We could, we can still technically order them. We just never stocked like a store full of them or anything. And I got from a couple of years ago a review on that B34, and I was real impressed with it.
Yeah.
But you can flip it left and right-handed. You can do all kind of different stuff with a grip.
Tuning, I mean, as far as tuning, you can, what is it? You tune with the grip?
Yeah, like you can get a left and right tear out by moving the grip left and right. It's wild.
They had the little 18-inch for a long time, and then they quit making it because they made the 20-inch. And I really think, though, that the way it looks, we've had the comment made.
We hung Jackies in here just as sort of a test bow for a while, and I mean, no offense at all to Gearhead, but I mean, everybody that came in laughed and was like, "What the hell is this?" You know what I mean? And like they wanted to look at it, but I don't think anybody was serious about buying one.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucked, but it just the look of it looks like it comes off the space shuttle or something.
One of the comments we got was it looked like somebody turned a 14-year-old loose when a Rector set.
Yeah. But good bow.
Yeah.
Just different.
Yeah, it's different.
Any advice on setting up a recurve bow to play with in my backyard? He looks like it's a long thing, but he just got a recurve and needs to set it up. What advice do we have? Pretty much, get whatever arrow you're going to shoot. You don't really, on a recurve, want it exactly 90 degrees to the string. You want to raise it up a little bit. So, raise it up a 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch on the back, put you a knock on there, and pretty much let it eat. Some people shoot like a plastic flipper rest. A lot of people shoot off the shelf. You might want to put some moleskin or something on the rest. But, I mean, really, as far as setup, and you can, if you get a little more into it, the knocking point on the string, you can move it around a little bit for your best arrow flight. And some people aim with the tip of their arrow. If you're one of those people, they'll adjust their knocking point to hit, like at 20, 22 yards. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I want to use a nose button, but not a fan of the Bowmar because it hurts my nose. Any suggestions on something else to use? Mike?
There's a couple options. One of them, you'd have to take the string off your bow to put like just a regular old school nitro speed button.
Yeah, eliminator button.
Yeah,
Just
eliminator
a little
button.
bit rubber deal.
Yeah.
I've used that before.
And then the only other thing I have to tell you to do is take some serving and tie it and just some overhand granny knots.
I've done that before too.
That's pretty much the two easiest ways I know.
Yeah. I've done the knots and everything. But the Bowmar brought a lot of more people using the nose button, and we've sold a lot of them. You do have to be careful because if you put much pressure on it, it'll hurt. You know. So, but yeah, that's it. Recommendations on a good budget bow fishing bow, Paul. I'll be honest. Other than your packages, like PSC makes a package, Bear makes a package, and you're looking at $300 to $500 according to how you order them, and Cajun and this, that, and the other. AMS has a package, but what I'm gonna try, and I may make a video on it. We both will probably end up trying it. I want to set up one of these San Lita bows we've been talking about. Just take a Bear bow and set it up as a bow fishing bow and try it, because we could set it on any draw length, any poundage.
Yep.
Put it on about 30 or 40. Probably just put some finger savers on the string and a reel, and we might go blast some fish. I think I'm going to try to team us up with Clay, because he got to talking about knowing where all these fish was at the other night and us going, and I was like, we might do that.
Yeah.
So that'd be a good video if we end up doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people take old bows, old recurves, or you could do anything.
Yeah.
You can buy a package for $400 new. Get you an older bow, lower poundage, set it up. Get you a recurve from the pawn shop, set it up. There's kind of unlimited things there.
I've seen a lot of people buying like the Mission Menaces or the Mission Crazes, old, a little bit, like a Diamond Infinite Edge, an older youth bow where you can, let that poundage down a little bit.
I've had people try Genesis bows, and to me, there's just not quite enough oomph behind it, because it'll only go to 20 pounds, and it just needs, with that big heavy fiberglass arrow, you need a little more
oomph.
Yep. But I see a lot of people shooting 4-fletched arrows now. Have you guys ever tried 2-fletched arrows, Charlie? One time I tried Dwight, if anybody's local, you know who Dwight is, but Dwight was shooting 2-fletched feather arrows with a 2-bladed broadhead. And I tried it, and it worked. I just feel like 3's the magic number for me. Nothing against 4 or 6 or 2 or whatever, but I tested it one time, and it worked. I really don't have any. I tried it with a 4-inch feather with a decent amount of helical, and back then I think it was a Steel Force broadhead I shot, and it worked fine. But I don't really have any good or bad comment. I just ended up switching back to 3 at some point.
Well, with a 4-fletch, it's putting a little bit more drag on the back of that arrow to help steer, because a lot of people are running a bigger fixed blade broadhead now, like the single bevel, double bevels.
Mm-hmm.
So that 4-fletch kind of adds a little bit more drag and helps stabilize that arrow.
Yep. Agreed. Do they make the San Lita bow in left-handed, Gary? I don't know, but I'm gonna look. You know?
I ain't 100%.
Let me look real quick. I talked about this with somebody else the other day. I'll do a quick search. That don't give me an option for left. We'll go to their website. I'm thinking no, because on their website there's no mention of a lefty, and there's no option of like a click down box. So to my knowledge, I'm going to keep clicking for a minute, but to my knowledge, they do not. Give me 1 second. Click one more thing here. I'm not seeing it, so I'm thinking it's only right-handed. We hadn't seen one, and on the sanleadarchery.com I don't see an option unless I'm missing it somewhere. And I went to Amazon too, and it didn't say nothing about left-handed. So I'm gonna say no that I can tell here.
I don't see anything left-handed.
If you're local next weekend, or this coming weekend when you're watching this, Tab has a shoot down in Gray Court. Check them out. They got a Facebook page, and they're on the SCAA archery schedule and page and all that stuff. And then there's a couple Kiwi shoots after that, and that's kind of it for South Carolina. There's some North Carolina stuff going on.
Yep.
And then we're getting into that hot summertime where nobody wants to shoot, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll try to get, I know I've been talking about this for a while, locally, if you're local, we'll try to get a group, or we'll at least announce it together sometime soon and go shoot somewhere. Maybe either Bobby Brown, or we heard from Devin, the Palmetto Outdoor Experience. Today, he went over to Victoria Bryant. We kind of boycotted going over there because a lot of people had went over there with broadheads and tore up their targets. And I took a group over there a couple of years ago, and luckily in the truck ended up having some orange dots, and we had to put orange dots like on the butt and the head of the deer and stuff, because if you shot anywhere in the midsection, it was going to keep on trucking. But He said some of them, like the moose, you said you hadn't been over, the moose was the first target, and like it was so shot up you could stick your whole arm through the middle of it, and that's no exaggeration. He said it was fixed. And he said there were still some that were shot up, but don't sound like it was bad as one last time I was there. So
yeah,
we may try to either go to Victoria Bryant or Bobby Brown one evening. I'd like to do it during the weekday when it's not going to be like crowded or whatever. And we may even try to like close the shop at 5 or something and get down there at 6. But I'll post about it when we come up with a date and time, probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Just to give everybody something to do if you want to. And then I think what we're going to do, we talked about it and kind of mentioned it on our last one, is kind of combine the podcast and the live feed, because we feel like it's sort of the same thing, but just one's recorded and one's live. So why not just do it live? We'll probably end up like doing this same setup and do it through the laptop to keep the quality higher than just a cell phone. And that'll probably start in the next week or two. And what we're going to do it on Thursday evening.
Yeah, Thursday evening.
Probably go to Thursday evening. We'll probably still call it the Archeryshack Shout Talk Podcast, but it'll be live now.
Yep.
And if it don't happen this coming week, it'll happen the next.
Mm-hmm.
And just change that up a little bit, because we're going into the busy season and we're low on help because we got some people out. So I know it's going to be crunch time. And
yeah,
I just hate when it comes to the point of we can't do any videos because there's too many bows waiting and that sort of thing. And I wish I could have been videoing. We've restrung a bunch of bows this week, and I didn't video any of them because I'm just trying to get them done. But sooner than later, I'll start maybe putting out a few more tuning videos and some of that stuff. So hang in there with that. We will. Trying to think of what else is coming up. Nothing big that I know of.
No, what is it? Metropolis is in another week.
Yeah, as we're recording this, because this is being recorded a couple of days before it comes out, they're at the IBO shoot. And I think Levi's leading, but I hadn't updated in a couple hours. But so we'll know about that by the time the podcast comes out. And then ASA's got a few shoots. Locally, it's
pretty much dead.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but anyway, let us know what you want to see videos about, or any questions or any of that sort of thing. I think when we go live, we'll do our people that send in question stuff, plus the folks that are on there can ask questions, and we can kind of monitor it live as we go like we have in the past. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Hit the subscribe button. Maybe we can get a few people on here. Another thing, well, I don't know how we would do it live, but I know we can do it, is getting some more people on here, but like remotely, you know what I mean? We've tried it a few times, and it's always, the sound and stuff's always kind of not as good, so I kind of, but I was watching somebody the other day, and I know them, ask them what kind of setup they got, because it was crystal clear and it sounded good, but I think they both had pretty high-end like microphones and stuff, and that I'm sure most of the people we'd want on here would just want to run and gun it. But we'll see what we can do and get some random people on here with us. But anyway, thanks for watching.
Yep.
Let us know what questions you want us to answer or talk about or videos to do or any of that stuff, and we'll try to do it. But otherwise, we'll see y'all here in a few days.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.
Have a good one.